heard about University of Redlands from one of my high school track coaches, Dave Desmond. He was an athlete here. He spoke very highly of it. I started my undergrad up north at St. Mary's College in Moraga, California. And when I decided I wanted to transfer schools, the University of Redlands was one of the top choices because of the small atmosphere and the community that it offers and the fact that they had a track team.
Coaching Natalie Calderon was a challenge and a pleasure at the same time. Natalie was very quiet, so it was very hard to get a read from her a lot of times as to if she agreed with what was going on, or she didn't agree, or she liked something or didn't. That was my first major challenge working with her. Once you got past her quietness, inside there was a competitor that was very easy to work with. She's probably the most competitive athlete that I've ever had a chance to work with in my years of coaching.
That Natalie was just always going to be there, always going to be on time, always going to do her best, always going to work hard, and believe and trust in a process that she was going to get better. And so to be a coach of an athlete like that is a tremendous pleasure, because not only is she getting the most out of the process, but she's setting a great example for the rest of the team to show what you can accomplish when you really buy in and work hard.
Yeah, when you meet Natalie, you would never guess how competitive she is. She hates to lose, and she's very stoic, very quiet, and you would never expect that she is the athlete that she is. But when she steps on that track, you're going to get beat.
The biggest contribution that Natalie had to Bulldog sport was her willingness to work and her leadership by example. She never ever wavered from working hard, never shied away from a challenge, constantly improved, and obviously had huge success on the track, and really set a standard and an example for the rest of our team and really the athletic program in general to follow.
I believe her greatest accomplishment as a student athlete was winning the 2008 SCIAC team title for track and field. It was our first team title that we'd won since, I believe, 1979. When I came in and started coaching Natalie, she had already won an individual national championship. She was already the SCIAC Athlete of the Year. There wasn't much left for her to accomplish in her track career. We sat down and had some goals, and one of the things was to win a SCIAC team title. We were so close the year before I got here. She made the choice to learn another event so that we could have a better shot at winning the SCIAC championship. She went on to win 6 individual SCIAC championships and come in second in the 7th event. And I think that day, beating Claremont by 2 points was probably her greatest accomplishment as a student athlete.
Some of my fondest memories are actually just out on the track with my teammates during practice. We're just having a good time, enjoying it, and playing whatever game or doing whatever we needed to do that day at practice, and going out on game day or track day and doing what we needed to do. And then of course going to nationals each year, and you have a tight-knit group of fellow athletes that you really got to know a lot better, even though you'd been working alongside them the whole season.
Natalie, the great competitor that she was getting ready to compete in the long jump. She had already jumped in the first heat of the long jump competition. We were waiting for the second heat to come in, and I can remember sitting on the bench with her and her watching the competitors come in, and she was commenting on how nervous everyone looked. And I just sat there and thought to myself, I've never had an athlete that was looking around at the national championship meet thinking, wow, everyone else is really nervous. Well, here she was really confident that she was going to win, that she was going to excel. That's probably my favorite memory, one that I'll always hold with me, of how that confidence going into national championships. That was fantastic.
Easily my favorite memory of Natalie competing for the University of Redlands was at the national championship meet in, I think it was 2007. We were in Oshkosh, Wisconsin in May, which you can imagine the weather there is a little different than what we would expect to see in Southern California.
We knew that we were going back to Wisconsin, which was sometimes a rainy trip. So Mike Erb was standing on the long jump runway with a hose in sunny Southern California where it's 90 degrees outside, and he's spraying us as we run by right to hit the long jump board to get us ready for Oshkosh. And we thought it was silly at the time, but once we got to nationals, it was raining like crazy.
During the long jump final, the rain was coming down sideways. It was probably in the 50s, it was cold, it was wet, weather that we certainly hadn't ever seen or ever competed in or even practiced in ever in Southern California. And as I looked around to all of the women preparing for that long jump final, I saw, you know, all of the people from the Midwest who were supposedly used to competing in these conditions huddled under blankets and umbrellas and wearing their weatherproof stuff.
The Midwesterners were freezing and cold and wearing all these long sleeve this and that, and windbreakers and raincoats, and Natalie's out there on the runway and the rain's coming in sideways.
And I looked over and saw Natalie, who was just warming up like it was any other day. You would never have guessed that it was literally, you know, 20-mile-an-hour winds and sideways rain and soaking wet. And as we were warming up that day, she looked absolutely unbelievable on the runway, and just flying and looked great. And I knew something special was coming. And sure enough, on that first jump of the final in the long jump that day, she had a PR, had a personal best, and that distance ended up holding up to win a national championship.
She ended up beating everybody that year at the long jump and the triple jump. It was amazing. And we used to joke that it was just because Mike was spraying us with the hose at the track that day.
Being inducted to the Hall of Fame is a big honor. It's something I didn't set out to achieve, and so when I was nominated, it was a surprise. You know, I know that my accolades line up with what it needs to be, but it's, you know, I was just going out and doing what I enjoyed doing. So it's a great honor.
She's perhaps the greatest track and field athlete to walk through the University of Redlands campus. Her multiple national championships, her multiple Sky Athlete of the Year awards, Frank Serrero Award winning, and her amazing accomplishments not only on the track but in the classroom as well make her very deserving to be in this Hall of Fame.
I mean, as somebody that had such great success in the long and triple jump, somebody that was a national qualifier in the 100, somebody that her last year came back and learned how to hurdle in order to help the team achieve the best that they possibly could at a conference championship meet. Her athletic ability and her accomplishments certainly make her deserving of being an inductee into the Hall of Fame. Beyond that, her academic pursuits, her success in the classroom, her overall demeanor certainly added to the fact that she was able to be so successful, and again, very deserving of being in the Hall of Fame.
Natalie, congratulations on being inducted into the Bulldog Hall of Fame. It's an honor, and I'm honored to be being inducted with you.
Congratulations, Natalie, going into the Hall of Fame.
Huge congratulations, Natalie, on being inducted into the University of Redlands Hall of Fame. I can't imagine anybody more deserving based on their on and off track performances, and I'm very, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee Natalie Calderon Moultrie. Presenting Natalie's award is Mike Schmidt, head track and field coach during Natalie's senior season.